You know you're on a farm when you look out and you see 3 goats frolicking through a paddock that they were not supposed to be frolicking around through. So now I get to go chase after them. You see her right there? She's supposed to be on the other side of that fence. And then those 2 boys right there are supposed to be on the other side of the fence. All right, let's go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to ZB Farms. We have a busy weekend. Now, we always have busy weekends because, to be honest, the weekend is the only time that me and Justin are able to work on any big, significant projects. Both of us work full-time, and so we work as much as we can during the week, but the weekend is the time where we work on the biggest stuff. So, we have all the things going right now. The first thing we are doing is I need to dump this barrel out, this wheelbarrow. This is going to go into our compost for our chickens. I also multitasked. I have the tires for what's going to be the chicken tractor. So, I see it, thanks! So that's kind of where we're going right now. Just trying to get all of that done, but I also need to get compost. So, that's your A, that's your B? Gotcha. Why don't you hire the kids? First up is going to be 1, dumping this into our compost and then getting compost. So we actually have 2 piles here. This one was here before we moved in. So this is broken down, it's beautiful, everything like that. So we take from this, I shake it out, and I will show you all of that in a minute. But we shake it out, and whatever big pieces and whatever we collect, leaves, grass, food from inside, we throw into that pile. Now that pile there, that is, the chickens go through it. As you can see, Chewy is sniffing out some of the food. Chewy, out of there. But the chickens go through it, and they actually do all the work for breaking it down. So we're gonna get this task going. So now, to collect the compost, we do shake it through a shaker, and this is just 1/4-inch machine wire. And the reason I do that is because I want it smaller, because I want it to break down quickly. And hi, Chewy. Hi, bud. Go away? No. The chicken's not. So we shake it out, and then any big pieces go to the next pile, and we just kind of rotate from there. That's kind of the plan of what we're going to Usually I let the boys and the girls out first thing every morning. However, today I need to get through the buck's pen and make sure it's closed up, even though they constantly are still managing to get out, because this is right now through the barn is the only access to the pigs in the orchard. So that is why I have to do it this way. Takes longer, but it works. The bucks get out even if we close this up. We have a lot to kind of repair for all of this, so we'll get there. But that gate is closed, and now we open this gate because we give them access to this area. There is a wire, an electric wire that goes all the way around. Again, they can get through it though. So honestly, it doesn't even matter. We have to pretty much chase them down every single day. So now we're out in the orchard. So as you can see, for comparison, there's the pig pen, there's the barn. I'm out in the orchard. I'm gonna compost all of this stuff right now. I just put like leaf mulch down and it blew all away because this area gets a lot of wind. So I'm gonna put actual compost / mulch. This stuff is still pretty woody, so it'll hold the weeds back. But usually I would water everything down first really good. But Justin has the water turned off to everything besides the house because he's digging a trench because he's going to add a new water line in that's going to go from the house to the garden, to the greenhouse and garden. So he has the water turned off, so we're going to let him do that, and then once the water's back on, then I'll drag the hose out and I'll give everything a nice good drench. But we're going to mulch. Unfortunately, our elderberry did not make it like I had hoped, so we're going to do the raspberries. I think the blueberries made it, so we're going to do the blueberries and the blackberries. If they didn't, that's fine. We'll get some more. And this is what I mean by we need to find where the holes are, because that's the pig pen. That's where Sid and Smokey are supposed to be. That's where they are. Luckily, this part of the paddock is fully fenced in. However, it is just barbed wire and they can get through it. So it makes things a little bit more difficult. And if you guys haven't met, we have Bobo and Big Red. Bobo is the one in the back, and Big Red's the one up front closest to me. This is actually the closest they've let us get to him so far. So this is awesome. They definitely are loving it here. They have their little pool, which I don't know if they've gone in yet. There's their water trough that waters, we fill it up, but also when it rains, it fills up. And then they have their food bucket. They've been digging in here. They're loving it. And they're doing us a favor by loosening up the dirt, because that whole area is going to become the duck pond / swimming pond when we get to it. One thing I can honestly say about these blackberries is I was actually worried about them at first. For the longest time, I hadn't seen any new growth, nothing like that. Well, I am starting to see some buds, and I'm starting to see some new growth at the base. So they are coming back as well. Now, the blackberries and the raspberries and all the roses came from this property. So if they died, these were all like growing wild on the property, and I transplanted them and moved them over here. So if they die, they die. We're not worried about it. We didn't put any money into them, so it's no big deal. But the fact that I am seeing new growth, the raspberries look pretty fantastic actually. They're doing really well. It's amazing. So I'm excited about this. Now I will be coming through and taking the weed whacker and getting the weeds and stuff, the grass cut short. And at some point I do want to come in and actually mulch everything, or at least get grass seed down, because I'm going to be fighting, and I know it, I'm going to be fighting these things for the rest of my life on this farm. I don't know what they are, but I can tell you they are not my friend. So that's kind of what it is. All the most important plants in the orchard are mulched. We got the blackberries, the blueberries, and then the raspberries right there. I have a whole bunch more wild raspberries that I'm going to transplant up from the garden. But I always forget to mention this on the videos. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us. And make sure you hit the bell for the notifications. Because honestly, guys, we are growing this up so fast. I mean, shoot, we didn't even expect to get pigs, and look at us, we have pigs now. We're gonna be moving fast with a lot of stuff, and especially the next couple of years. So make sure you guys are liking and following us. We do also have an Instagram, a Facebook, and a website. So make sure you look in the comments below for all of that. But don't forget to like and subscribe so that you guys can keep up with everything. So a quick lunch break was in order. So now we have the next task, which is going to be up here in this garden. We finished quite a bit down in the orchard, so I'm gonna leave that be for just a little bit because I need to get stuff up here done. So first thing we got to do is so we have this strawberry patch here. I got to finish the other one over here. This one I have to get it done because we also need to plant peas this weekend, and that's going to be an archway over this path. I have one bed already in the back there, or actually there's two. There's one for potatoes, one that doesn't have anything planted in it, that's for carrots. And then I have to get two more beds started up here. Get them cleaned out and mulched and composted and everything, because those are going to be for, I got to remember what they were, lettuces, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts is what's going to be up in those. Then I want to remulch the onions, get them a little bit more composted. I got a hose. So Justin is building a hose line. As you can see, here's the dig. He's going to build it 4 feet deep because that will be just below the frost line. But he's going to connect it right to the corner here because in the corner, this whole area where I'm standing right now is going to become the greenhouse. So we are going to get started now. The first thing I'm going to work on actually is getting this done, because once that is done and I can get the compost and everything in there, then Taylor, while I am cleaning out the 2 beds that we need, Taylor's going to go through here and find any of the strawberries that can be planted. We have some more, but we have a whole bunch that can be transplanted out of this garden and over up here. So that's kind of the plan. Now we have the border of this garden done, so all of these grass pieces that came from the edges, I am going to take as much of the dirt off as I possibly can, stuff and fill in all of the edges next to and get it packed down nice and tight so these bricks will stay in place. And then what I'm going to do is get all that grass in a pile kind of in the center here just so I can put it in the compost to bring it down. But I have 3 bags of soil that I purchased, so those will go down in here. Then I'm going to take my own compost and bring it up. Then, when Justin gets home, he has my hose that I bought for up here. So, yeah. So then I will get these all watered in. We have layer 1 of soil in the ground in this bed. The next thing we got to do is go down and get a whole bunch more compost, and we're going to fill that up in this bed as well. And then once that's done, then we can start transplanting. Now I just used raised garden soil from the store. I don't usually like to do that because I like to use my own stuff that I know what's in it. But I need to fill this up. I already had it here at the house, and I don't know how much more compost I'm gonna have, and I need it for in the garden. So that's kind of why we went with this. Now, once Justin gets back, he's out right now, but once he gets back, he has the hose and the sprayer, because I just bought new ones because we need a lot of hoses at this house. As soon as he comes back with that, I'm going to hook the hose up and get this watered, and hopefully, if it'll reach, get the potatoes watered at the end. Then tomorrow we're gonna get a lot more in this garden done. We got a lot to do, but we're getting there. And Justin almost made it to where the greenhouse is gonna be. As you can see, he trenched all of that. It just needs to be a little deeper in 1 or 2 spots, but he just has this little bit, maybe 6 feet, 7 feet left to go. And we are trenching it down 4 feet. And the reason we're doing it 4 feet is because Here, our frost line is like just like 4 feet or 3.5. It's just under 4 feet deep. So if we go 4 feet, then we don't have to worry about blowing out the lines every winter. And that's actually what they did for all of our underground sprinkling at this house. The previous owners already had it done, and they actually trenched it and dug it down, all of the water lines in the entire property down below the frost line. So that makes our lives a little bit easier. But I'm gonna take a quick break. I am sunburnt up the wazoo. I'm gonna take a quick break and then I'll be back to it in a little bit. I need you guys to see the ridiculousness of this situation. Sin and Smokey have now gone there. They're supposed to be way down there. Guess they are going to be going to their pen tonight, because I'm going to have to carry them one by one to their pen. Okay, let's do this. So while I was down there putting the boys back in the pens, I decided to go get the chicken eggs. Good thing I can at least do this with my shirts, because otherwise I couldn't carry all these. Oh well. Good morning. It is another beautiful day. I did not get as much done as I had planned yesterday. But funny story, I did chase a whole bunch of chicks this morning. They got out last night and I did not have the energy to chase them last night because I just didn't. I had no energy left after everything yesterday. So we are back at it again today, and first thing I'm going to do, we got this all done and composted and everything as you saw. I'm going to get the T-posts in. Now the reason for that is we are going to do an archway over this pathway for our things that have to grow kind of up. And so we're going to do that. We're going to get T-posts on either side. I'm going to extend them down quite a ways. But today, later on today, when it warms up a little bit more, I'm going to get some snow peas and sugar snap peas planted in these beds. Now, I forgot how many beans that I was planting. Green beans, sweet peas, all of that. So we are going to take one of these beds as well, make a whole other one, and use it for the peas. Now with that though, we are going to have to hunt for some sticks because we are going to build trellises using straight sticks and branches and stuff. So you will get to see us. Hopefully it works out. That's what I'm hoping, but we will get to that. Now first though is getting these T-posts in, and then I'm gonna get help later from Justin to get the arches built. But I was supposed to water these all last night. However, we ended up getting a rainstorm. So I'm not concerned about watering them at all. I do need to take the last little bit of compost that's in here that's now a mud pit. I do need to take that, and I'm probably going to put it on my onions just so that they have a little bit more because they didn't get a huge amount. So that's kind of the plan. Now you may be wondering why right now with recomposting this bed / mulching it, I'm focusing on the edges is because my daughter told me that it's hard for her to see where the beds are right now because of the leaves, and the garden is pretty kind of just not in the best shape. So that's why I'm kind of trying to focus and redo the mulching on these so that it might be a little bit easier for them so that they don't step on the plants and kill them. So that's kind of where the focus is. Now, before I go down and get more compost to cover these 2 beds again, I'm going to first put the T-posts in the ground. It's one of those things where I'm right now saving energy because I have to go up and down a pretty steep hill. So I'm going to first get the T-posts in the ground and get some more weeded in the garden for the other garden beds that I need to do. And then I'm going to get the, go take the compost, the weeds, down, get them into the compost pile for the chickens, and then kind of go from there. So, yeah, kind of what we're at right now. So we are shifting gears for a little bit. I am not going to put the last 2 posts in because, as you can see, Amelia is here, and it's a little too loud for her. So we're shifting gears. Taylor is going to keep pulling up the strawberries and transplanting them, and I am going to continue weed the gardens. I have a garden bed over here that needs to be weeded, a garden bed over here that needs to be weeded, and I brought the carrots out so I can plant it right there. So I'm going to get the carrots over there so I can get them planted at some point today. And then we're going to get those 2 beds weeded, and I'll get compost on them today as well. because I need to plant in those today. So that's kind of where we're at. Danny is, as you can see, he's over here helping to get that trench deeper. I mentioned it yesterday. We are trying to get it 4 feet deep so that we're below the frost line, so we don't have to blow the water pipes out. But we're going to get that entered in, or get that done today so we can get the pipes on, so we can get water back down to the barn. So I planted these peas, which we did king tut pea, purple peas, wando peas, a green arrow shelling pea, and then I can't remember what the last one was. But I did them in circles because what I'm going to do, because those are all climbing peas. They're they're climbing ones. So I'm going to do trellises made out of sticks and stuff for them to climb on. So I did them in a circle so that I could just plop the trellis right in the middle and let them grow. So now it is time. We have to finish mulching the 2 onion beds. And then I need to get transplanted in here, but I'm waiting for water to come because Justin is getting the water, which is almost hooked up. So once he has the water hooked up, we're going to do that. And in these 2 beds, I already planted the sugar snap peas and snow peas. So I have 1 on each side, and then the very last section up there is going to be for our loofah gourd. So yeah. So we did get a lot done today. We got both onion beds completely remulched. We have peas in this bed here. We have carrots up here. You see the 2 boards on it. I'll bring us closer. I got a whole bunch of strawberries transplanted into these 2 beds, along with peas that are going to be going on either side of this. Now, I do have to do the loofah gourd, and there's going to be a welded wire thing over top. And then Justin got our frost-free water spigot installed right over here. So that'll help with getting water to not only this garden so that I can manually garden when I need to, but also have water to the greenhouse. Now there is a leak in it, so we gotta fix that. But here's the carrot bed. We got the boards down because they like to stay nice and moist. So we got the boards down to keep them wet. And then over here is the potatoes that we planted. I don't know if I planted potatoes there, so those got planted, but I got a whole bunch of strawberries transplanted. broccoli and cauliflower is going to go right here in this area. So we still need to weed that bed and get that one ready to go. But for the most part, we are getting there. Now, I am actually going to be doing a living path in this garden. Kind of like the living fences. So I'm going to be ordering or picking up clover that is native to this area, and we're going to do clover because you don't have to really mow it. So that'll be fine. But that's kind of the plan, is we're going to do that. And I'm going to also do clover in this area too. So that will be happening. It's just not happening right now because I got to get the seeds ordered. It was kind of a last minute decision for that one. But I have some plants I got to get transplanted inside. So I am bringing what we have in compost in that bucket. I am going to have that compost and use that to up pot, not transplant. I keep saying transplant. Up pot our plants that are running out of space. So that's kind of the next step. All right, I'm exhausted though. It's time to eat dinner. So I quickly came out here after a long work day and I got some more planted. So in here we have our Brussels sprouts, and then right here, the single plant in kind of the middle of the Brussels sprouts right here is a iceberg lettuce. And then next to it I have 6 plants of little gem butterleaf lettuce. So those were looking really good. I can tell they're ready to come out. I'm pretty sure we might get a couple more cold nights, but it's only been getting down into the 50s lately. Our peas are looking pretty good. I mean, I just planted them yesterday, so not that big of a deal. Onions look fantastic. And then the strawberries, they were transplanted, so they're kind of wilty, but we're just gonna keep them well watered and everything. So everything is kind of slowly getting there. I mean, I still have a lot of garden beds to build, but I'm kind of doing them as I go because it's a lot of work to make one. So if I don't do it this way, I won't get anything planted this year. So that's why we're kind of going this way. Now I do want to show you one thing. So the onions over here that are pretty tall, those all came in as starts. Yes, they came in as starts. So they were already pretty much tall, everything. They just need to be planted in the ground to grow. Over here on this side though, were sets, which is just a little onion bulb. And already I can see a bunch more coming up. Now I know, like, back from here back, there's nothing planted because that was filled with strawberry or wild raspberries, and our fence came over, so I didn't get very far back. But now I've removed all of that and was able to extend the bed a little bit further, so it'll be ready for next year. But the peas are all in here in a circle. I can see some of them. The birds have been coming through and kind of digging up some of them. So hopefully, crossing fingers, but I'm gonna get wood from the forest and do trellises up. Now, I do want to show you one other really cool thing that I found this week. And right here, we have a lilac tree. Now, the lilac tree is really great. It's beautiful. I love it. It smells awesome. And it can be used for a lot of things. But we also not only have that white one, we have this beautiful purple one. So I am super excited about that. I'm going to go take the last little few seedlings and bring them inside. So that way I can get them hardened off for in a few weeks when I get their beds made. So slowly but surely we will get there. Things will come and this garden will look the way I want it to look.